25 cars and 5 teams crashing their way to the top. Welcome to the Junkyard Joust. It's a competition unlike anything you've ever seen before. I'm Aaron Yonda, and I'll be bringing you the commentary on this action-packed event. Here are the 5 teams, including the return of Winnebago Windstorm and a brand new team, the Midnight Titans. Let's take a closer look at these teams. Junkyard Joust has been around for 10 seasons. We haven't seen Electrical Storm since season 1. Let's see what they can do. Glow to Hell almost made it to the finals in the runoff a few seasons ago. They've got a bruiser and some survivors. The Midnight Titans are a brand new team, and they've got an interesting mix of vehicles here. Shining Steel have a pretty mixed track record. Out of their 4 appearances, they've made the main event twice. Winnebago Windstorm is back, and so is Forklift. The Windstorm have not made much of an impression yet, but they've got another chance today. This is the final qualifier, a last chance for 3 teams to make it into the main event, the big time of the Junkyard Joust. 2 teams will not make it, just like these vehicles down on the sidelines have not yet made it on a team, but perhaps they will next season. It's time to joust. Round 1 will start us off with the Fiero 2M4, sponsored by Farty Marty. You gotta wonder if Crazy Jimmy is driving that Fiero. I guess we'll find out if it starts going backwards. First up for Glow to Hell, Rip Rod, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Rip Rod locks it in nice and tight, but I expect it won't stay that way after the next hit from the 61 Dodge Dart Phoenix, sponsored by Sanddragon Workshop. The Dart slams that line pretty hard, but only succeeds in getting 1 tire of Rip Rod over the side. That is curbside. The 05 Chevy SSR, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm, for the Midnight Titans. The Chevy plows into the line, tightens it up, and Rip Rod gets thrown off the track, but manages to get back upright as it dismounts. That is a successful survive. Here comes Rolling Thunder, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Rolling Thunder plows underneath the Chevy and starts to oust it from the track. The Dart is going up on the Fiero, and now there's going to be a big hit. Caged Cargo, 118 grams, sponsored by the Test Joust Series. Winnebago Windstorm trying to get this vehicle down before the ramp gets set up, but that kind of backfired. Turns out Rolling Thunder is a bit of a ramp, and Caged Cargo hits a 6 and takes the Chevy out on the way over. Almost makes it all the way to the crates, hits the dead end sign. That Chevy is knocked out cold. It is eliminated, unless there's a miracle. Caged Cargo did survive. Maybe Holland Heat can do the same thing for Glow to Hell, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. And it does not pan out quite the same way. That is a ramp on Rolling Thunder. Holland Heat does not have the same balance as Caged Cargo, and that was a mistake for Glow to Hell, though it's likely they would have had to ramp no matter what. The 77 Chevy Chevelle Malibu Classic. The Malibu launches off of Rolling Thunder, but pushes Rolling Thunder underneath the Dart, its teammate. Malibu goes over off of that launch, and the Dart now is in trouble too. Grand Illusion, sponsored by Tribble's Troublemakers. Apparently this car is going down backwards. The front is apparently the big high bit in the back. Apparently the officials were tricked and didn't notice this when the car joined the team. Dart survives that hit. Fiero's in trouble. The infamous Ooze Coupe with a ramp, sponsored by Lang's the Cat Lover. Ooze Coupe slams that line, sets up the ramp. Let's see how long it lasts. We've got a decent amount of ramp takedown vehicles. Forklift is not one of them though. Forklift loves a ramp, sponsored by Sicken. Baby Cookie taking a ride. And there goes Forklift. I don't know where Cookie went, but Forklift just bounced off the crates and found a parking spot. Safety. Cookie hanging out in between Caged Cargo there. Great recovery for Forklift. Love to see it. Duck and Roll, sponsored by Frank's Fork Factory. Duck and Roll takes that ramp and does a great job. Nice open field. Duck and Roll can handle that and makes the recovery right up against the fence. Good news for Glow to Hell. The 64 Plymouth Barracuda, sponsored by Do Not Feed the Bears. Barracuda manages to ramp successfully, more or less successfully. It is tipping, actually. That could be an elimination. Looked like it was going to recover, and now it's stuck behind the sign. Formula One, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Formula One ramps and fails. Not a great car for ramping, and the Midnight Titans are gonna lose one. Rolling Thunder is going up down at the front because of Grand Illusion. Mock It Go, sponsored by International Gaming Productions. Some sort of implement in the front of Mach It Go, and it gets under its teammate. Does not push Oozcoop off the track, but that looks dangerous. Might not be helpful to Electrical Storm. And it looks like the Fiero has finally gone over for Winnebago. Next up for the Windstorm, Mazda 787B, sponsored by Coffee Run. The Mazda undercuts two vehicles. Mach It Go goes up, does manage to turn over and make a recovery, but it looks like the ramp of Oozcoop is neutralized. Maybe because of Mach It Go. Time Tracker, sponsored by Beek's Busted Barn Finds. Time Tracker slams into the pile and finds it stiff. It does look like Rolling Thunder now is tipping over for Electrical, and the Dart for Shining Steel. Next up, the 67 Pontiac GTO, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. GTO, a heavy vehicle, slams that line hard, and Mach It Go flips over and gets caught on whatever that implement is that's stuck in the front. It's out, and Oozcoop is in trouble. 65 Pontiac Catalina, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Good hit there for the Titans, plunges the pile forward a little bit. Looks like Grand Illusion is going up. Coming down for the Storm, Sting Shot, sponsored by Judy Collins. A very light car, 28 grams, it cannot get anything to happen. The Porsche Carrera, 87 grams, sponsored by the Mad Brit King. This thing is heavy. It replaces Sting Shot on the track, pushing Sting Shot completely off, but that car makes a recovery. A little bit of jostling up front, but no elimination. Super Stinger, sponsored by Greyhound. Super Stinger slots in and doesn't really get much to happen, just more jumbling down the line. 67 Chevy Impala Sedan, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. The sedan pushes the Porsche forward onto the Catalina, and it's gonna be going somewhere next hit, I suspect. Couple Shining Steel vehicles in danger here. The Nissan Fairlady Z, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services for the Titans. A nice hit there, and it starts to push that Impala over. Eventually, the Carrera slides off the track, and it looks like it might be able to make that dismount happen safely. But the GTO looks in danger. Final car of the round, the 55 Pontiac Star Chief, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. The Star Chief with a takedown on the Impala, 27 cents worth of damage there. It flips over, but the Fair Lady survives that hit, and we'll move on to the next round. 6 eliminations for sure, but we're gonna take a bunch of measurements. Some very close calls here. The GTO is at 37 degrees, no problem, it's going to the next round. Bad news for the Barracuda, it's at 53 degrees, stuck behind the dead end sign and out. Electrical Storm will not lose Rolling Thunder, it's at 37. That'll take us up to 7 eliminations for the round. One team hit harder than the rest. It's Shining Steel, down to 2 from 5. A bad start for them. Midnight Titans fall 2 down to 3. Electrical Storm and Glow to Hell lose 1 each, down to 4. Winnebago Windstorm did not lose a car. Oh, that sound means that the officials have issued a warning to Electrical Storm for that thing in the Mach It Go car. They have decided that that modification is illegal, and they are removing it from the car. Won't come into play here since it was eliminated, but it could come into play if Electrical Storm make it to the main event. They will not have that anymore. Fiero slots in here for round 2. It could be interesting to see how this decision by the officials plays into some of the other teams in the league who have vehicles modified in a similar fashion. Rolling Thunder takes a shot at Rip Rod, and Rip Rod handles it. Nice recovery there by that vehicle. The Nissan Fairlady Z launches off of Rolling Thunder and handles that ramp with no issue. Lands it by the crates. That's great news for the Midnight Titans. Shining Steel's Dart goes off of Rolling Thunder and manages to stay alive. Nice and level, just about escapes, and they needed that help. Forklift takes a tumble off of Rolling Thunder, and it doesn't go well. Cookie manages to hang on for the ride, but now Forklift is over sideways. Not quite the same as taking the ramp of Oozcoop. Rolling Thunder continues to launch cars. Time Tracker with a beautiful twist to a full landing recovery. Impressive. That car looks promising. Electrical Storm decides to send down Oozcoop, but it is unable to set up the ramp. However, it does escape the track safely. Maybe this part of the plan for Electrical. Grand Illusion defies the Rolling Thunder ramp. It's got some sharp little piercing things on the front, which is actually the back, if you abide by the illusion, and it does not jump. The GTO sends Grand Illusion off the track, but it handles it no problem and is safe. The Dart also safe. That'll be a good hit for the steel. The Mazda with an undercut and a great turnover for a recovery, although it is in a perilous position, a little dip there that it could fall into. Duck and Roll wrestles with the Mazda, can't get it to turn over, but it turns over and is kind of wedged now on the track. I don't imagine it will stay there. Rolling Thunder also in trouble. Sting Shot with an opportunity to get a takedown here, but not enough power, and Duck and Roll just about makes a recovery. Not quite, but no damage to the two cars in front. Midnight Titans send down the Catalina, and it does the trick. Pushes the Mazda underneath Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder goes over. It looks like it is toast. Sting Shot also in trouble. Electrical not looking great right now. Winnebago still has a big vehicle, and it provides the oomph, smashing into the pile. Squeezes that pile forward. The Fiero, which miraculously survived last round, is still alive, but is getting squishy. Super Stinger hits a wall. Caged Cargo is packed in there pretty tight, but the Fiero does go over. Duck and Roll now just about completely sideways. The Star Chief takes out Super Stinger, just enough of a hit to throw it over. That 26 cents, not enough to keep it alive. A nice takedown. Porsche Carrera does not really change much on the field. Tries to take out Star Chief, but look at that flip over to a recovery. Incredible dexterity. Electrical Storm needed that. Super Stinger cannot recover off that hit. We're going to have 3 and probably 4 eliminations. We are going to take a measurement real quick on Duck and Roll just to make sure. Oh yeah, that's way over 45. 60 degrees. Duck and Roll is finished. And so is the bumper on the Star Chief. Got knocked right off on that last hit. 4 eliminations for round 2. How does this play out in the aftermath? Winnebago Windstorm shows a crack, falling to 4 from 5. Glow to Hell had a rough round. They are down to 2, tied with Shining Steel, who didn't lose a car that round. Great news for the Titans. They didn't lose a car that round. Electrical Storm falls from 4 to 3. Round 3. Here we go. We'll start off with Winnebago Windstorm still in the lead. They will lead with the Porsche Carrera, who locks in. Grand Illusion gets the undercut on the Porsche, cannot take it out. That thing has got some good balance. It is stuck up on Evil Weevil. And the Ooze Coupe slides in with the ramp. We are going to see some ramping action. The ramp has been somewhat effective in this match so far. We'll see how it goes here. So far, not effective. The Dart smashes into the crates, and look at that quick twist over to a recovery. This car showing that it is worth its weight in steel for Shining Steel. Rip Rod launches effortlessly into the crates, bounces back, makes that recovery happen, no problem. Still has a wheel hooked over the track. And gets annihilated by Forklift. Rip Rod thrown off the track just from a hit on the wheel. Forklift goes up into the crates, slides back, and looks like it makes a recovery, but is a bit precarious. Cookie underneath. The Fair Lady has good luck with the ramp again, twisting around, throwing itself over, landing on Grandy Illusion for support. Not a great position to be in. Sting Shot with a little nudge as it tries to get away from the track as best it can, and the Fair Lady looks like it's probably safe. Maybe. The GTO smashes into Forklift and does it a huge favor, knocking it back down into a more stable position as the GTO poises itself for the next hit. The next hit is from Time Tracker. It does not do any damage. The GTO is okay for now, but there's a big hit coming down. And no cars are able to hold on the track as that hit devastates them. The GTO goes over and is crushed. Time Tracker hits a 7, swivels and turns all over the place. Look at the dexterity on that vehicle. It hits the canoe, goes into the tires, and makes a great recovery. But now Shining Steel are in deep trouble. The Catalina takes a shot at Caged Cargo and gets some good action, but Caged Cargo handles it. GTO settles down. Pontiac Star Chief with a nudge to the Catalina. The Catalina is poised on Ooze Coupe. And then the Mazda slams the Star Chief forward. The Catalina does not go up very much. Star Chief goes on top of it, but no damage there. And that is going to end round 3 with 2 eliminations. No measurements this time, just the 2. We still have all 5 teams in this match, but it's getting close for both Shining Steel and Glow to Hell. They are both at 1. The only teams who lost cars in that round. They are going to have to step it up big time with those survivors in round 4. Porsche Carrera will start us off for Winnebago Windstorm. Anything can still happen in the joust. And it usually does. Grand Illusion gets underneath the Porsche this time and starts to push it up. Ooze Coupe plows into Grand Illusion, and the Porsche goes over and is taken down. Winnebago now falls from 4 to 3. They are even with 2 of the other teams. Time Tracker ramps. It does not survive the ramping, but does stay on the track, and this often ends up being a good thing. A lot of cars like to play dead. And that is the reason why the Dart resurrects Time Tracker, throws it over. Grand Illusion manages to escape. A nice move there. Midnight Titan's got to be liking that car. And now Forklift enters the fray and mixes it up and maybe just ended the match. Forklift has a devastating side to it, and sometimes it is merciless. Look at this. Time Tracker and the Dart both thrown off the track sideways. Time Tracker is completely out. We'll see about the Dart. Fair Lady with a takedown on Forklift after its brutal hit. Look at Cookie go flying out of Forklift there and tumble to the ground. And yeah, the Dart now is completely toast. That could be 2 teams eliminated, and that might be the end of the match. Sting Shot slides into place, does not affect the Fair Lady. No elimination there. We still have 4 cars to come down. The Mazda undercuts Sting Shot, throws it into the crates. It is pushed sideways and taken out. That'll take Electrical Storm down to 2, and now with the Mazda poised behind Ooze Coupe, this could be trouble. Catalina tries to push Mazda underneath Ooze Coupe. Ooze Coupe denies it, and the Catalina is rebuffed. Pontiac Star Chief lines up. I got bad news for the 4 cars on the track. They are about to take a hit from Caged Cargo. A 118-gram smash, and what are the results? Star Chief is thrown up and over, and it makes a recovery. Forklift is back. Star Chief landed on Forklift in a strange way, and it made a recovery. The Midnight Titans were unaffected by that hit, but it looks like some friendly fire. The Mazda thrown over upside down by that hit from Cargo. However, since Forklift recovered, they're not in terrible shape, though they did lose 2. 5 total losses in that round. Winnebago Windstorm falls down to 2. Glow to Hell and Shining Steel could not make it to the main event. They will most likely be relegated to the minor leagues. Electrical Storm fell from 3 to 2. Midnight Titans are steady. They do not lose a car in that round and have 3 remaining, but it's not quite enough points to net them the bonus action. Winnebago Windstorm is gonna get it, but barely. 33 over 30. And that will do it for the qualifiers, everybody. We have our 30 teams who will be competing in the main event. This is where the joust gets serious. The top 3 from last season will be returning. But as it stands right now, these 3 will be going to the main event. A great showing by the Midnight Titans, our brand new team, showing some promise, and I have more good news. We have achieved our goal of getting 5 new supporters, and that has triggered a brand new track, which I will start building immediately. However, if you become a patron now, I will just keep making that track better and better. The more support I get, the better that thing is gonna be. Check out the link in the description. Thank you to all my patrons for making this show possible on a weekly basis. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time for the main event.